Today I want to talk about the relationship between potassium and insulin. It's very interesting, especially if you are a diabetic or have insulin resistance. So insulin is a hormone that causes you to store fat. In the presence of insulin, it's almost impossible to burn fat and lose weight because insulin prevents the fat burning. So it's all about storing sugar as fat and is preventing the oxidation or breakdown of fat. Insulin also stores glucose. So let's say, for example, you ate some sugar or some refined carbs. Now the body is going to store that as stored sugar. Insulin turns glucose into glycogen. So this is what glycogen looks like. It's a string of glucose molecules held together as stored sugar. And you also have potassium involved as well. So potassium is necessary in the storage of glycogen. So the main purpose of insulin is to lower your blood sugar. And it does that through taking the sugar and putting into storage as glycogen or as fat. And if you're diabetic and you take medication to lower your blood sugar, the question is, so where's it going? It's being hidden as fat. It's not evaporating. So basically these medications are taking out of the blood and putting it somewhere else. Now, insulin also helps put the potassium in your cells. So that's one of the purposes. When you consume a high glucose diet or a high carb diet, you deplete potassium from the inside of the cell. So you lose potassium. So if you consume a lot of carbohydrates at one time, you're going to show potassium deficiency symptoms, like your pulse rate will start going up. You'll have a hard time sleeping. Your blood pressure might go up. You may feel palpitations in your heart or heart arrhythmia type symptoms. Taking potassium makes insulin less resistive as well. So it's really good to improve insulin resistance. And if you're diabetic, you have insulin resistance. And this is why all diabetics should be making sure they get enough potassium and more to help their blood sugars and improve the normalization of insulin. If you're deficient in potassium, that's going to impair glucose and even increase the risk for insulin resistance just by having a deficiency of potassium. And then you're being put on a medication like a diuretic, which then can deplete potassium and cause more high blood pressure. And also, if you have insulin resistance and you're diabetic, you take metformin, and one of the problems with metformin, it depletes potassium. So my point about this video is if you're a diabetic, make sure you have enough potassium. And I created a very important video on diabetes a long time ago, and I put it on this page right here. Check it out. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. there's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising. And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto and Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.